right, team. We continue in the clearest dedication to these artist talks today. Zuza, who ran out of class with her apron, flicked it off and is here to talk to you today. An extra double round of applause for Zuza. We were talking before about Fiona's work and watercolours and this process of kind of travelling and using travel as a time to look at scenes and consider scenes and make works that hold the memory of place. And this is something that's happened in these works. Do you want to talk a little bit about the journey where these works came from?
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I had a residency planned in Ireland which didn't go through. So I actually asked my friend who happened to be redoing a house in Tuscany whether I could go over there and relive, this journey that I wanted, but somewhere else. But the beauty of travel also is that you get to go to different museums in different places and also maybe get surprised by different artworks that you haven't seen or you haven't thought of, and you can hear it now. I think something in particular over in Europe is that the light is a lot softer than in here in Australia where what we're used to. And so something that was important for me when knowing that I was going to Tuscany was that I was going to have to think about how I was going to express that light. Well, that was what was on my mind. And also what colours were going to be necessary for this. So I did have to change my usual palette and bring in some different blues and some different mixes accordingly. I also was interested in the surface of the actual paint. The surface that I applied the paint on. And I this time chose a linen with a little bit more texture because I wanted to have the paint not glide on really smoothly but almost be caught into the linen to give a bit more texture and a bit more maybe rough edge to the actual works the subjects that I was playing with. So yeah.
And it's beautiful with these works, same kind of thing, like when you're looking at them from a distance, you don't have as much of a sense of that kind of texture in the linen, the tooth of the linen. But as you get closer, it starts to come in focus and you can see the detail of it. So playing with those forms. I love the idea about having to have specific colours for a specific place. And of course, the other thing about hemispheres is that, light in Australia is fundamentally different to light in, say, Tuscany. Yeah. How did you sort of navigate that and those sort of fundamental kind of changes? Yeah.
Well, luckily I had been there before and to Europe, so I already had it in my mind. But something specific in Tuscany was actually a lot of, in this case, because it was raining a lot, I actually had to be inside for a lot of these, particularly with these ones. So I was working off the sill, but I had the lovely buildings nearby, which were older terracotta buildings. So that was the colour that also surprised me, and the colour of the soil also made it into there sometimes. But and then the olive trees made a particular ashy kind of blue-green colour that I had to mix up to, and it took about a week's worth of painting and sketching and working out to figure out the palette. And then finally I think I hit it on the nail after that week and a half of making, lots of sketches and lots of looking. Looking was really, really important. But then also going in between the real softness of the fact that it was raining, so I had a lot of overcast skies, finding a spot under a big oak tree so I could actually do some outside between rain as well. And then also something which was really nice was the fact that the light over there prolongs for a longer time as well during the day.
Yeah.
So I could actually work into the evening as well, which was really lovely.
To be under an oak tree in the setting Tuscan sun. But, it is an incredible thing when you go to places like Florence or and you have an awareness of that tradition before you, you know, and how imbued those places are with, you know, a practice that you're continuing on the kind of tradition. Did you get much of a sense of that when you were there? Did you go to, you know, museums and things like that, or was it just about immersing yourself in that particular environment?
Well, I did go to, yes, definitely some museums beforehand, but I actually went to, because I went, was that, hang on, I'm getting my trips mixed up. Sorry.
What a terrible problem to have. Yeah.
Sorry. Don't judge. So this one in particular, I spent most of the time just studying the land. I did go via, yes I did, in Milan. I went to a museum which I didn't know much about, but there was just this one little set of paintings, and I mean little. They were specifically only about this big, but they just caught little bits of Tuscany, and it just then set me off to go, you know, that these are the little things that I can think about in the back of my mind is, you know, just little things like the shapes that you get, the olive trees, the colours, the particular pine trees and things like that. And then also the houses amongst it, the different paddocks and the shapes that cut into the paddocks and things like that. So that helped quite a lot, and it kind of gave me a push, because you do nervously go out there going, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to find something that I can connect with or relate to, or is it going to be a whole disaster? So things like that is lovely, because it's just, you know, getting a surprise full stop is lovely to start you off. So,
and there's something amazing about the scale too, that small kind of scale that forces you to sort of come in. It is very kind of transportative, like that you look at it is like a window into another world. And I guess what I'm interested in asking about is, you know, let's say one of these paintings you looked back, you know, in many years kind of time. Like if I had a, you know, a photo, let's say, of a holiday from the 90s or whatever, you know, when I look at that photo, I'm taken back. But given the amount of time that you spent to render these things and in the light, when you look back on old paintings, does it take you back to the site? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And look, it's a lot of my paintings, you'll find that they are a very intimate scale, and I do relate that to growing up and looking through photos and trying to relate to the photo or remember it somehow, and then getting mixed up with memories and photos and things like that. So that was a little bit of an obsession of mine. And so I haven't actually gone bigger, because I like the intimacy of small and it to be of a memory or of a time. And a little window into another world, basically. Yeah.
And that's a fundamentally beautiful thing. So
and there's elements in there which also, like, so this vase was actually found in my friend's attic. It's a very ancient little, I'm trying to remember how do you say it, Etruscan? The area.
Etruscan, yeah.
That's it. So she actually found these in her attic, old bits of pottery. And so then I specifically said, can I have this? It's just a beautiful shape as well, but the colour again, the terracotta and that particular colour of the soil in that area. And then there was just, you know, I loved having my sparkling water out of these crazy blue colours. And so I just chopped that in half, because I needed some kind of extra contrast addition of colour. And, you know, just these are little additions which bring you back, or just add another memory, or add another little focus, and you know, questions into the painting, I guess. Yeah. And then the flowers, well, I mean, I'm a gardener. I've grown up with flowers. They're very important to me. They're, again, memories in terms of, you know, my mother came over from Australia, and she was gardening a lot, and bringing those memories of those flowers and introducing them into her garden. And so I sort of have that feeling as well. But I mean, these were all collected from beautiful walks that I do through the area. And, you know, they're wild, beautiful little flowers. And again, they're little memories. They're little treasured memories and gifts, I guess, too.
Who now really wants to go to Tuscany? Please join me in thanking the incredible Zuza.